guys, this is Jess Dowd, and I would like to welcome you to the Girl Do It Yourself podcast. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Girl Do It Yourself podcast. I am your host, as always, Jess Dowd, and I am coming to you guys today wearing my Eagles gear. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. I am a born and bred Eagle fan, so go ahead and shit on me all you want. It's the truth. I've been an Eagles fan since birth, and 2 of my sons are Eagles fans, and I'm dating this episode by talking about this, but hopefully if you're watching this and it's in the future, the Eagles already won the Super Bowl. And so anyway, just a few disclosures at the beginning of this episode. I have, this is now my 3rd consistent episode that I've recorded, and I have come to realize that I go on a bunch of rants. I interrupt myself more times than I can count, but I hope that my information is useful and still kind of easy to follow, and that my delivery is approachable and, what's the other word? Authentic and relatable. Today I'm going to talk about how home design and wellness are integrated together, how they can affect each other, right? So I came up with this idea as I am in the middle of a closet little renovation. My closet is a small walk-in closet, but plenty of space for what I need it for. And our bathroom actually has 2 closets. One was technically a linen closet that we changed into a closet for my husband's clothing and shoes. So I have a 11 by 5 foot, so 11 feet wide and 5 feet deep closet. It is attached to our bathroom. It is directly across from our shower. And that means that it gets exposed to moisture on a daily basis. And so we have been in this house for about 1.5 years. I didn't notice any smells or even any staining when I was removing the carpet yesterday, but carpet is known to absorb moisture. And in anything that has moisture, especially I'm sure down here in Alabama where it's humid 90% of the year, mold, mildew, bacteria, all that stuff can grow in this stuff. As I was working on this project, I realized I wanted to share how design can be directly related to wellness. So it's not just about making your house pretty. It's not just about making spaces pretty. It's also about making them safe and healthy for you and your family. And this is now the 4th house that we've done work on that has had mold in it. Well, we are jumping to the conclusion that there may have been mold spores growing in the carpet because my husband came down last night with flu-like symptoms. Now, 2 of my kids just got over the flu, so he could just be getting the flu. But he was in our bathroom with our kids for bedtime last night, and within 2 hours after being in the bathroom that I had just pulled carpet out and, stuff was flying around in the air, he started to get a headache. He started to feel symptoms in his sinuses, and he woke up this morning with a fever and chills. And this is not the first time that he has come down with symptoms like this from mold exposure. Now, again, could also just be the flu. Can't know without doing a test, but it just made me think about how this is something that is actually very important to share. So that is what I'm talking about today. So let's start with carpet and why it shouldn't be in a bathroom and why it shouldn't be anywhere near a water source, especially that releases humidity into the air. So looking at moisture and mold growth in a carpet, again, I came with a few facts and stats to make sure that I am backing up what I'm talking about with information that isn't just made up by me, right? So carpets can hold 4 times their weight in dirt and moisture, which creates a breeding ground for mold, mildew, and bacteria, especially in humid areas. And a study by the Institute of Medicine found that exposure to indoor mold can lead to respiratory issues, allergies, and immune system suppression. I will actually be having a guest on the podcast in the next few weeks who has gone through a nightmare of an experience with mold in their home. I'm going to let her really explain what their situation was. But It's heartbreaking what they've had to go through, and it's because of negligence and mold. Mold can actually be very, very dangerous. And we live in our houses and we spend so much more time indoors that I think our exposure unknowingly to mold is significantly higher than it ever used to be. This is just something that you might want to take into consideration. Bathrooms, anything where moisture is going to have the potential for mold, but mold can get anywhere. And when those spores move, they can get into your HVAC system, can be pretty messy. And, you'll hear people say, oh, no, mold isn't the... There's always going to be someone who has an opinion and facts to back up the opposite. Based on my personal experience, well, through my husband, who his reactions have been specifically correlated to mold exposure, and other people that I know, it's definitely something that is helpful or is a good idea to pay attention to in your house. So my solution in my closet DIY renovation is I am replacing the carpet with sticky tiles. So laminate and vinyl and any sort of plastic derivative can sometimes have its own issues. They're called VOCs. VOCs are volatile organic compounds. So they're chemicals that can evaporate into the air. And they can be in a number of products. I'm not going to talk about that today because it's kind of its own whole thing. But for this project that I'm doing, cost effective was really a big part of what I'm trying to do. It's just meant to be a quick little project. Obviously, it's still going to take a week or two. But anyway, so that is one of the solutions, is to put hard flooring. So vinyl, sticky tiles, anything like that is a potential option. Better options are tile and hardwood. It is important to be careful with hardwood and water as well. So, obviously bathrooms and laundry rooms, things like that, tile is really your best solution. And for some reason, our house has tile in the one closet, but not the other closet, that are both they're in the bathroom. Like, there's no separating it from the bathroom. So it's kind of odd, but who knows? So the other thing that carpets can trap are dust mites, pet dander, pollen, and again, VOCs from cleaning material and cleaning products. The EPA reports that indoor air can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air due to these trapped particles. One thing that we have in our house are air purifiers. I have one in all my kids' rooms. We have a big one in our bedroom. And I just clean out the filters every couple months. And I also try to open windows. So as you can see, I have my window open if you're watching this on video. If you're not watching this on video, I have my window open in my office right now. I was actually, quick segue, my office is one of the bedrooms in our house. I have a huge closet. I'm talking like an 8x8, maybe a 10x10 closet. Currently, it's filled with inventory from my past failed businesses. Anyway, not the point. We were going to move my podcast studio into that closet, and I realized I don't want to sit at a desk without a window, without light and air. So opening windows is something I do almost every day, or I leave our back door open, even when it's cold out, because it does get cold here in Alabama. You used to live in Arizona. It does get cold here in Alabama. In the summer, I do typically keep it shut because it is so hot out sometimes. But at the very least, getting outside is something that I do as quickly as I can in the morning. I drop my kids off at school on weekdays, so I'm outside dropping them off within an hour to an hour and a half of waking up. But anyway, so carpets are we have a lot of carpet in our house, more carpet than I'd like, but because this isn't going to be a long-term house, we're not going to spend the money to replace all the carpets. I wish we could. We might for a couple areas, but this is a 4,000 square foot house. We're not going to replace all the carpet. And it's only a year and a half old. So anyway, moving on to a few other things that you can do in your house that kind of can blend interior design, home design with wellness and health. Starting to declutter. So this bookshelf behind me is significantly less cluttered than it ever has been. And if you could see off my screen, or if you're just listening, I'm going to let you know that over to my left is just piles of clutter. So that is part of my goal for 2025 is to declutter and organize our house. We've got a few plans in place for that. We're actually going to repurpose a closet from our loft into the hallway and a couple little tweaks like that. But decluttering is so important. And I am currently failing and always have failed at it. It is a high priority. When we moved into this house a year and a half ago, I said, everything in it, what is it? A place for everything and everything in its place. That was my goal. I have not reached it yet. But on the days where I do get things pretty decluttered, breath of fresh air. As I start to see things moving and filling up places, like I can feel it like closing in on me, and it's like suffocating. And actually, there was a study done from UCLA that found that women who described their homes as cluttered had higher stress levels throughout the day than women who didn't. And clutter literally can increase your cortisol levels, your stress hormone. And when it comes to kids, I understand. It's like so hard to get rid of stuff. It's so hard to keep it put away. But as much as possible, I am trying to make it a priority, and it hopefully will improve over time in my house. So that is one thing to take into consideration when you're talking about function and aesthetics in your home. And that's, any sort of organizational concept. All right. Another aspect of interior design that needs to be considered when you're planning a home or trying to change your home into something that's a little more focused on health and wellness is lighting. So according to Harvard Medical School, exposure to natural light improves sleep quality by regulating your circadian rhythm, which is your body's way of knowing what time of day it is and making you tired and triggering melatonin production and all that kind of stuff. Now, with ADHD, for whatever reason, our circadian rhythm is super messed up. And mine always has been. I am a night owl. I hate mornings. Waking up in the morning is very hard for me. But another study shows that people who get more natural light during the day sleep better at night and report lower depression levels. So having your windows open, having airy curtains, having blinds that can open, all that kind of stuff, really important in a house to encourage wellness and health. The other thing is light bulbs. The color of your light bulbs matters, like a lot more than you would actually think. If you've ever noticed, some light bulbs are very cool or almost blue, and then other light bulbs are very warm, almost yellow or orange. And the cooler colors you're going to find them a lot in clinical places, in professional places like hospitals, office buildings, places like that, because blue light literally wakens your brain. It boosts alertness. Is good for those types of places. But in your home, you want to have something that allows for more of a relaxing environment. And so the warmer light, the more relaxing it is, and also it will help with sleep. This is because it actually is closer to the same wavelengths as the sun, and so our bodies recognize it as something that's much more natural. It almost mimics the light from the sun in your house. So keeping your lights as warm as possible. And even at night, red lights are also very good. And I'm not talking about like red light therapy, which is its own thing, also very good, but more of like literally like lights that have red lights in them. So turn on a lamp that has a red light. Also, salt lamps are great. Those are on my list of things that I'd like to get for our house. So the warmer it is, the better for lots of reasons. And there are light bulbs out there. They're smart light bulbs that actually will adjust their color temperature. This is actually something new. I've not actually seen these in person, but I thought that was a pretty cool concept that like during the day when you're up and trying to be productive and all that kind of stuff, they stay bluer or cooler. And then as we wind down for the evening, to help trigger melatonin production, all that kind of stuff to help with sleep, they transition to warmer. Alternatively, just making sure that bedrooms and like living rooms, places where you're going to relax and wind down, have warmer light. So aside from the color of your lighting, interestingly enough, the color of your walls also makes a big difference, also plays a role in your well-being and your mental state. Color psychology is fascinating. When I was going through grad school for anthropology, we studied color theory. We studied color theory in anthropology, and the way the different cultures perceive color differently is very cool. But there are still some pretty significant trends that continue through all different cultures in relation to individual colors. So, for example, soft neutrals. So we're talking beige, taupe, light grays, soft greens even. They all promote like a calm, relaxing vibe. They can help with making things feel that, light, bright, and airy. That kind of became like a trend, if you will. But there's a reason why that's something that people are drawn to, and it's because you just feel calmer, and it's not those colors. Basically when your eyeballs see those colors, it doesn't have to react. It's kind of super base level description. So then if you move into some cooler blues and more saturated greens, they can are still also calming. Think color palettes like sort of like a light coastal theme, not a nautical, so not navy blue, but a coastal theme. And actually, the National Institute of Health came out with a study that says that cool blues and greens can reduce stress and lower blood pressure. So definitely, if you like blues and greens and you want to feel calm and relaxed, those are a great option as well. Saturated reds and oranges are like energy colors. They create energy in your body. They actually can stimulate adrenaline and, unfortunately, increase stress levels. Now, some people love those colors. Think like fire, right? Like just like intense colors. I think those colors are good maybe for certain places in your house, not necessarily like a bedroom. But if you maybe have like an office or a workspace that you want to keep things really like just high energy, those types of colors might be good for that. But needless to say, choosing a color for your walls, for furniture, all that kind of stuff is actually very important and can play a very large role in how you feel in each space. Another interesting thing about color is so the darker a color is, the more relaxing it is for your eyeballs, and which can help for places like technically bedrooms. Bedrooms can be dark. I personally like my bedroom light, and I actually just painted our bedroom. It almost looks the same as this color, except for this is gray, and I painted ours like an off-white. It's like a cream almost, but not brown, not yellow, not white. It's considered like a taupe kind of. So, but dark colors. I painted my husband's office where he also plays video games and hangs out and watches TV and stuff, a super dark green. And that is because scientifically, your eyes literally don't have to work as hard because the dark color actually absorbs light. And whereas light colors reflect light. So as you're looking around in a light room, there's going to be more actual light bouncing around. We can actually perceive it, but our eyeballs have to adjust. Darker colors, it's the opposite. So color is definitely important when it comes to design and your wellness or health in your home. Okay, so other design choices could be related to furniture and material choices. So a lot of furniture is made with harmful chemicals like formaldehyde and then also flame retardants, which they have switched up to be a marketing positive, but they off-gas a lot, those types of products. And so fortunately, like the cheaper your material is, the cheaper your furniture is, especially upholstered furniture, definitely have the chance that it's going to be off-gassing. I'm sure, to be honest, that my couch that I have in my downstairs living room is probably covered in this stuff. So alternatives, as far as like couches and stuff go, I'm not too sure, to be honest. I haven't done a ton of research down that because I'm sure they're very expensive, which rightfully so. But right now I have 3 young kids and 2 dogs, and expensive furniture is not on the docket. But I do try to purchase or reuse other types of furniture. So that is hardwood. So I try to get hardwood as much as possible. Both of our tables are hardwood right now. One of our TV stands is hardwood. My desk is not, but it's made out of particle board and metal, so it's nothing special. But some great options besides wood for soft materials is to get natural fiber products. So we're talking wool, jute, cotton, and that's instead of, synthetic rugs or even upholstered chairs. And then other organic fabrics are like linen, hemp, and organic cotton. And those I would recommend for bedding, for curtains, things like that. I am planning on purchasing, I have a few companies that I'm looking at to purchase organic cotton sheets from soon. And so I will update you guys on those. But I mean, you're sleeping on your sheets for should be 7 to 8 hours. For us, sometimes it's less. But so you're directly in contact with this material. It should be as natural as possible. I mean, you don't need to go sleep on, a pile of leaves and sheep's wool necessarily. But if I was going, for me, top priority is going to be bedding, replacing bedding, and then eventually getting a better couch. And so, I mean, I think that's kind of a good starting point for things to look at that are like quick, easy things that you can adjust in your home. I'm not telling you to go replace your entire flooring, right? I mean, I'm not doing that. Carpet, vinyl, all those things, not the best, but I do also believe in making sure that you're making decisions for you and your family that are keep you financially stable as well, right? Like, I'm not encouraging people to go spend 20 grand to replace all of your floors to hardwood. I mean, if you can, by all means, please do. That's my plan for our next house. But so removing carpet though in places like bathrooms or near bathrooms should be high priority, honestly. Whether or not my husband is sick from that or the flu, I think it was just a matter of time before that carpet started to show like issues with it when it comes to mold and mildew. And I mean, alternatively, once it starts to grow somewhere, mold is brutal and it will just go. And I mean, if it gets into your subfloors and into your walls, I mean, we're talking lots of money to replace and fix. It can get very expensive. So taking a preemptive approach to avoiding this is, in my opinion, the best course of action. Also, just to cover again, you can swap your lighting out, warmer colors in bedrooms, salt lamps, red lights, all that sort of stuff. Great for in the evenings. I know my kids get all super wound up at night. That's a whole nother thing. But salt lamps are on my list to get for our bedrooms. Indoor air quality. I wanted to mention one other thing about indoor air quality. Where was I missed in my notes. Where was that? Because plants. Indoor plants are a great option for processing out toxins in our house. So VOCs, anything off-gassing. Indoor plants, a lot of indoor plants are actually really good at absorbing those out of our air and getting rid of them. A couple of plants that are good at that are peace lilies, snake plants, and spider plants, all of which I do have in my house. And a couple of them I have in like multiple places. I've got a little spider plant right here, the baby one, but it needs some water. But we've got a little baby spider plant there, right here next to my desk. Pothos, I think are also good at processing out some toxins. And I mean, some of the main toxins that these plants can filter out are benzene, formaldehyde, and carbon monoxide. I mean, all things we don't want in our house. So that can immediately help with air quality in your home, is just getting a few indoor plants. If you're going to say to me next, but Jess, I can never keep plants alive. I get it. I used to kill everything. Then see this guy here, this pothos, but I have a pothos behind me. If you're just listening, has what, three vines hanging from it that are about 2 to 3 feet long. That is started from a $2 discount pothos that I bought at Home Depot that was on its last legs, and I revived it and have had that thing has been growing for 10 years now. And I've even almost killed it on many occasions and have not succeeded. So, I mean, there are quick and easy ways to keep indoor plants alive, certain soil types and container types that can make it a lot easier, where you only have to water them once a week or so. So just another thing to keep in mind when you're looking at interior design and your home and making it pretty, but also functional and healthy. I think we have been sold a bunch of crap over the years, physically and verbally. And I think a lot of things that our grandparents and their parents, maybe still do, we have been kind of taught to roll our eyes at this stuff. And now I'm starting to understand, vinegar, baking soda, borax, these are all simple ingredients that we can use throughout our homes for lots of things. We don't need to go buy Lysol. And I'm starting to find that simpler is better. More is just terrible. More things, more stuff, more ingredients, more everything is the wrong path to be going down. And that's just my personal opinion. Again, disclosure, I am not a doctor or a professional. I am a mom who loves making my house pretty, but I also want to make sure that it's healthy for my family. And those are really my core principles, my core values when I'm trying to do and share what I'm doing in my house and that's just really it's very important to me on a personal level to make sure that my house is safe and it supplements our health. It doesn't give us autoimmune diseases and allergens and respiratory issues and all that sort of stuff, because I definitely think some of what we own and how we live is definitely playing a role in our health today. Just my little 2 cents on that. And I would like to challenge you to go find one place. Just start with one place in your house that you can change using some of the things I just talked about. So whether that means you swap the light bulbs in your bedroom to a warmer option, or you buy a salt lamp, or replacing your sheets with organic cotton. I mean, buying a single house plant from next time you're at Walmart. I know most people don't frequent Home Depot and Lowe's like I do. So Walmart always has indoor plants, or at least most of them probably do. So just one change of some of the things that I talked about. I'm not saying you have to go start pulling carpet out of your entire house, okay? But take a look at some of the things that I talked about and think about what would fit best for you and your lifestyle. Do some of your own research. Just like I've said in my other episodes, make sure to do your research. We have so much available to us at our fingertips, literally. I think sometimes it can be overwhelming, which is what I'm trying to help you with these podcast episodes, is to make it less overwhelming. Little steps, simple changes, and we got this. Okay. Well, until next time, stay creative, girl. And remember, you can do it yourself. We got this. Oh, and I almost forgot. Go Birds! We're going to the Super Bowl.